Hello everyone, it's Emily here from Phoenix Gateway, here to do a general weekly read for the 31st of May till the 6th of June. I am working with my Sacred Geometry Healing card deck. They are available on my website as well as from many stockists worldwide. You just have to Google it and you will find it. But I would love that any purchases from me are all signed by myself as well. I also am running my next workshop on these cards, which will be a 3-hour Zoom. It's working with the Sacred Geometry Healing cards. It's learning about sacred geometry and how you can bring that into your everyday life and working with them through the cards that I have created. The link will be below where you can read a little bit more about it. It will probably be the last one I do for a few months now because there's a few things that are coming up for me and they need to take priority in before I run any more workshops, which will be later again in the year. Also available on my website are my liquid alchemy in a bottle or lab products. These are all high vibrational frequencies which have been created to nurture, balance and heal mind, body, soul, and you can work with them in so many different ways. You can go onto my website. I do have a couple of PDFs in which you can download and you can find out more about them, the 5 top reasons to why I recommend them, and as well as the different groups that I have created them through. Okay, so we'll put them to the side. You may see my dogs through the window, but I've left them inside this time because I always find that they go and they do lots of barking and then I end up having to start and stop my video because it can be really, really quite loud. All right, so I'm actually going to take these cards that have come through because I feel, one of the things coming through for me before I started this reading was, the words standing your ground, about creating, taking your pain and creating it into your passion, because I feel that where we are now, it's been so many cycles that we have been through. And, even though people have a real awareness of what is going on in their life, so they may be conscious of the thought of they're living in an abusive relationship or they're living in a relationship that is not serving them or they're trying to maintain a business that's just not working. What happens is that we just, rather than actually create the changes involved in it, we stay in that cycle. And really, it's not until the pain of staying the same way becomes greater than the pain of change that we actually say to ourselves, you know what? I've had enough. I can't continue living like this. I can't continue attempting to make something work that doesn't work. I can't keep being in a relationship where I am abused emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually. At what point is that pain too much? And that's something you have to decide. And the sad thing is that not every person in this universe, in this world, is going to go, oh shit, I need to change because I no longer can stay within the way I'm doing it. Some people just can't bring themselves to that. And, that is part of their life choice, their life experience. And we can't always help everybody. But first of all, of course, we're helping ourselves. So that change is coming and you have a choice in life. And when you see that you have that choice to create that change, even though there may still be pain involved in creating change, it's not going to be anywhere near that pain of what you've already experienced. Okay, it's about releasing the trauma that you have been experiencing. For some people, it can be years of abuse. And it's very different for every one of us. It's very different, or for those who are really going through it. And I'm going to say something actually, because sometimes that abuse is actually ourselves. Sometimes we are our own worst enemy. Sometimes our thought processes are so damn negative and so damn hurtful that we make ourselves feel like absolute shit and that we're not worthy. Well, you know what? You are. You are totally worthy. You are totally freaking awesome. But the person that needs to see it is you. You need to see that, you need to open your eyes to what you are doing. First and foremost, to yourself. You can do years of even, counseling or different works on yourself. But again, it's all about the doing word. It's the verb, the doing. You've got to do. You've got to actually put yourself into it. You have to allow yourself to go through that healing. You have to allow yourself to really, to surrender and let go, so that, it's not about forgetting, it's about forgiving. Because the thing is, our greatest gifts in life are the crises, the trauma that we go through, the trauma and crises we experience. For me, it was death. Not once, not twice, 3 times, in a very short period of time. But it's that crisis, that trauma that I experienced, that absolutely opened my eyes to something I didn't even know existed. It showed me a different way of living and surviving and finding my passion and creating my purpose in life. I took that pain to create my passion. And here I am today, 17 years on, and I'm doing what I absolutely love. And what I did is I truly connected into spirit. I allowed my frequency, my vibration to shift. I allowed myself to connect into a higher source, because I know by connecting into that higher source that there was something out there that I didn't really know what existed, but I trusted. I allowed myself to find it. And after my mum died in 2007, this was created. It wasn't straight away, but this is the foundation of where it all came about. Because the owl of wisdom for me is my mum. But owl is my messenger. Owl is my totem. Okay? And, sometimes it is that you get these signs through nature. You're walking down the street and you're seeing an owl. You're walking in nature, you see an owl. It's about tapping in. It's about knowing that we don't need that physical aspect there to actually tap into it, because we are not restricted by space-time. We are not restricted into place. We're not restricted into anything, because energy is fluid and it's interchangeable. And we can connect. We are connected already to everything. And then when we start to understand how we can connect in, okay, we can start seeing that we can tap into the wisdom that already exists. And the knowledge for us to learn, it is all there. Okay? And owl brings forth that wisdom. Owl helps to guide us, to help illuminate from the inside out. It's our time to shine. And, we have to go through that dark night of the soul, that darkness that we feel. We have to still experience that pain, but the pain is experienced in a different way, because the acknowledgement is there. We're letting it go, but we're going to use it to create our greatest gifts in life. And it's who we are. It's the blueprint. It's our footprint of who we are that we're going to leave. And we're here to assist others on their journeys, okay, of self-healing and self-discovery. We can take those pains, that trauma, that crisis, and I can assure you, every one of us in this lifetime has experienced some form of pain, some form of crisis. But what we do is we reflect on that, okay? We reflect into where we have been, how far we have come and where we are now. And you know what, you start to understand too, what you start to recognize, that it's one thing, you know, to know your path. It's another thing to actually walk your path. It's time to walk your talk. We're going to take that pain and we're going to turn it into your passion and your purpose. And it is your greatest gift, and you've got to keep reminding yourself of that. We all deserve, we all allow ourselves, we all are allowed to allow ourselves to have it all. We're all allowed ourselves choice to create. We are all allowed our freedom. We choose to have that. We choose to have it within our lives. Okay? These are really beautiful cards, and it's a really powerful reading. Look at the bottom of the deck. It's the flower of life. The flower is telling us that there is something in its gestational period. Something you may not know yet. For some you may. For some you may be already working on an aspect of change and bringing forth something, materializing it into the physical reality. But for others, you don't yet know what's to come. Okay? But it is coming. It's in its cocoon stage. It's growing. It's being nurtured, and it's going to flourish. After we reflect, okay, as we're turning our pains into passion, into our purpose, we're then going to anchor it into the here and now. This is what we're here to do, is now to anchor it into the here and the now. Let's grab another card and then see what the bottom of the deck is. But I think this reading is really beautiful. You know, I've watched The Matrix now 1,000,000 times. Maybe a slight exaggeration, but it's one of my all-time favorite movies. And every time I watch it, I actually see another aspect of it, of what that movie is telling us. And that movie is such a massive representation of our lives and where we are and who we are and our existence. And you know, one of the lines that Morpheus uses is we're here now to free our minds. We're here to let go of the fears, the doubts, and the disbelief that we hold on to. And a lot of what's going on even now, you know, and it was something I was talking to a beautiful friend of mine yesterday, that we both have found that because we are all connected, what we're doing is, as much as we try and stay within ourselves, because this is about working on ourselves, working on our own strengths, our own purpose, and let going of those fears and disbeliefs. Because when we feed the fear, the disbelief, the anger, the anxiety, that is what we're then putting out there to the world. Because as we've spoken about before, we are all connected. That's why we come within. We've got to let go of those fears, the guilt, the disbelief. We've got to find our passion, our purpose. We've got to understand love, pure, unadulterated, pure, unconditional love. And that is the love that we're then going to send out for everyone else to have a part of. And that's when you hear the person saying, I want a bit of what she's got or what he's got. Because you know what? It's the love, the passion, the purpose that already exists in their energy that you are absolutely loving. You've got to be mindful of, yep, this is how I'm feeling. Yep, I'm picking up on what's going on. Again, you know, here we are in Melbourne. Again, you know, under restrictions like we are. It's like, what's going on? Truly, what's going on? But instead of feeding into all of it, it's about coming back to us. It's an acknowledgement of what you feel, and maybe that bit of anger or maybe that bit of fear, because you're also picking up, the more empathic you are, you're picking up on what everybody else is feeling. But it's about being able to let that go as well. It's knowing here that everything is always expanding and everything is always growing. Okay, change is imminent. It is always going to be change. There is always going to be growth or expansion at some level. And it's about deciding which part of the expansion, you know, you're a part of. Are you expanding also within that love frequency? Or are you expanding into the fear and the hate? We want to squash that now. We want to release all that, because the way we're living is not how we should be. It's all about choosing freedom. It's about having our choices that we have in our life. It's about the autonomy, the sovereignty that we're creating for not only ourselves but for everybody. And it is our time to learn. We are always learning. Okay, whether it's the learning that you're doing as you know, maybe you are going through that dark night of the soul. You have gone through that where things have started to break down. And now it's about healing yourself. It's about relearning aspects of you. It's about understanding who you are. And it may be this is where you're at. You're going through that 13 spheres of knowledge. You're going through the recognition of self, the healing of self. But for others, and it's going to be you as well, that we're always going to be wanting to learn. As we heal an aspect of ourselves, as we realize that, you know, we need to move on, that we need to change, there's always going to be something that you want to learn that's more. And this is all about the knowledge of learning to create the wisdom to bring through into your life. This is a really beautiful, deep, profound reading, and I'm absolutely loving it. Absolutely beautiful. You know, be easy on yourself. Take it easy for those who, you know, are in their restrictions as we are here in their lockdowns. Take this time for you. Take this time to learn. Take this time to just go and sit in nature, go for a walk. You know, maybe it's time to clean out the clutter from your home. Whatever it is, to start to change that stuff for you energetically. Maybe you need to write. Take that time for you. But, you know, every moment is just beautiful, and every moment becomes choice to create that freedom and love within your life. So have an awesome week wherever you are. Be kind and gentle to yourself, and I look forward to speaking with you next week. Okay, big love to you all. Bye for now.